Hey everybody, this is Michael. Alright, so the quote I got for you today in this video is from Jean-Jacques Rousseau, and he said, "People who know little are usually great talkers, while people who know much say little." And that is pretty true. And if you're looking for any kind of evidence of that, just go on any social media platform, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook. Um, those are the only three I know of. Sorry, I'm not into the whole social media thing. And you can find anybody who's just, or majority of anybody on there who is just telling you their opinion, and their opinion is fact. And that kind of, that's really damaging, and that can really, not only hurt them but hurt, us as a collective, as a people. As an American people, we are very, very divided, and that's because, the Democrats have their opinions about the Republicans, and the Republicans have their opinions about Democrats. And as far as either of them are concerned, that is true. And I mean, if you ask me, I think that they're both true, and they're both kind of not very the best groups of people. Because they get so passionate, so wrapped up in their own thing, and they spend hours. And I think that's a big problem. Like our politicians, down to our social media influencers, will talk about things they don't necessarily have done research on. There are sometimes, of course, as a generality, sometimes there are some people who just, especially TikTok. Oh my God, TikTok is just terrible. Because you go on there and you'll have literally people telling you of, oh hi, you're wrong, huh? And it's like, and then like, whoa, you're starting off your video like that. Okay, well already you're hostile. You're already not willing to listen, and then they'll explain how working out is fat phobic, and that is, I mean, I don't even know how to approach that one. Fat phobic. I mean, yeah, I don't even know where to begin with that one. And another one is, a woman is telling us how, I apologize if she identifies something else. I saw a snippet of this video um, from another YouTuber who kind of, reviews TikTok or just covers TikTok influencers. And, they'll talk and talk and talk and talk, but then there's no discussion. There's no like fact checking. There's no research done. And you can kind of tell when someone is not educated in the subject they're speaking of. And a personal example is I was discussing a legal issue with a friend of mine. I don't say it's an issue; it's a legal precedent, and he was very much for this particular legal term. And I'm like, okay, man, or not legal term, the legal precedent. And he and I will always discuss anything with anybody. And he got so passionate, so heated. At one point, he literally left the conversation because this was over Discord. And he came back and he apologized. I was like, all right, okay, man. Hey, well, we don't have to discuss this anymore. But no, he's like, no, let's do this. And okay. And we started talking. And like, I will admit, he is passionate, which is good, or can be. But it also can be very bad, because passion, leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. And hate leads to suffering. That's Master Yoda from Star Wars. Uh, that's really true. And the people who are super passionate will talk a lot about a subject, and they'll try and push for the subject. But they won't take the time to kind of shut up and listen to someone else's point of view. They won't take time to do the research because they're so busy talking about it. And I mean, if you want to talk about someone who was passionate and had good intentions, because the road to hell is paved with good intentions, Google Adolf Hitler and watch some of his videos. They're really disturbing. And they're disturbing because of how passionate he was. His passion became infectious to those who watched him. And so they wanted to be part of a group, wanted to be part of the crowd, because that's kind of a primal drive instinct for us, because we are kind of social creatures. And so when someone, so it's cool to be part of the group. It's cool to go along, to feel like you're contributing, and you're taking something on that's bigger than you. But if you're passionate, you can't, if you're so passionate, you can be blinded by this. You can be blinded by your own ideals. And that's why I always try and encourage, like, all right, well, let's have this conversation, but let's not Let's try and remove any emotion. Like ideally, you're going to be, you're like Spock from Star Trek. You are purely logical. You have no emotions. Just just discuss and weigh any and all the options and any and all the consequences, and see what is good for the outcome. The best. And sometimes the outcome's not necessarily pretty, but sometimes that's life. You just have to make the best decision in the most difficult circumstances. And sometimes the best decision, like I mentioned, it's not pretty, it's not good. It may not be the greatest, but at least you can at least alleviate some suffering and damage that way. But always take some time to do your research, to kind of chill your emotions. But like, hey, let me not talk about this. Let me think about this for a second. And sometimes all you have to do is think about something for a few minutes, and it will, kind of the answer or the meaning of it will kind of, come to the surface. Because if you're busy talking about something, you're just trying to prove your point. You're trying to, be right. And being right isn't always a good thing. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to be, incorrect. It's not okay to stay wrong. It's not okay to be like, oh, well, I know that this shirt is, red, and that's because and then I'd be like, well, bro, it's clearly black. It says black on the thing, and and then they're like, oh, well, and no, it's red. No, it's because it's all about perspective, and so we call it black, so it actually could be red because my perspective. It's like, okay, well, that is someone who's afraid to be wrong, and you just kind of, and he's going to continue talking to you about how this shirt may be red or whatnot, so let's just all take a moment and just be quiet. Don't talk about a subject as soon as you learn about it. Listen. There's another great quote I was reminded of, and I'll give it to you in this video. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth. That means that we are meant to listen twice as much as we were meant to speak. I believe that was Socrates or Epictetus. I'll look that up and I'll do a video on that one for you guys. But anyway, this video about Jean-Jacques Rousseau. People who know little are usually great talkers, while people who know much say little. So I feel that's enough talking for this video. Hope everything's good for you guys. As always, let me know if you have any comments, questions, concerns, any people you want me to kind of discuss, quote, anything like that. Take it easy, everybody.